Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be talking about two EV SPAC stock companies, but they don't make cars. And those companies are Volta and EvGo. Now, for those of you that are new to investing, or maybe you are just an investor and you're still trying to learn even more, here's a quick story for you to think about anytime you're looking to invest, or you're looking for new companies to invest in, or just even some other strategies around being able to find good companies to invest in. So remember the story about the gold mine rush, right? When there was a gold rush and everybody's mining for gold, the question is, well, who made the most money? Was it the people who owned the different companies that was doing the gold mining, the workers, those who were finding gold, or the people who created and built and sold the tools? Well, the funny thing about the gold mining is that, you could do all the mining in the world. You're not guaranteed to necessarily find any gold. But if you're selling the tools, then you 100% are making money no matter what. And so for these two particular stocks, they are what you would, I guess you could say, consider to be like the tools. But real quick, guys, if you're new to this channel, feel free to stick around, like and subscribe. On this channel, we love to talk about money. We love to talk about investing. We like to talk about how you can succeed, whether you have money or maybe you don't have a lot of money. So with these two particular companies, they are involved in the EV charging. So one of the things with EV charging is you can directly compare it to gas stations. So even though you may have one company that may have the largest network, for example, like ChargePoint, you do have other companies that may dominate in different areas. They may not have the largest network in total. So there's so many different facets. So just imagine, like, if you're invested in Exxon, but does that mean that Shell isn't making money? Does that mean that BP isn't making money? And any other gas companies, doesn't mean that they're not making money. But they're absolutely making money every single day, because that's just the way things work. It's just like if you see grocery stores and restaurants, there's a variety. So with that, this also works in part with everything that we're seeing that is starting to evolve. For example, in the electric vehicle space, as we continue to see things evolve, you're starting to see more choices. Tesla for the longest while has been like the #1 choice for EV cars. Well, here we go. We have all these other different companies starting to come about, and even some of the bigger brands like your GM and your Fords and other companies that they're really pushing hard. Like, for example, GM is looking to have at least 30 models, 30 vehicles by 2025 that are electric vehicles. So as the car makers are pushing to produce more cars, the question is, well, how do we get these cars to move, and how do we charge them? So just as we're seeing the different options as far as the EVs charging stations start to come about, and what they offer and why it's better to charge with them, and what pricing can they give you compared to the other one, literally on the pennies, we're also going to see that happening as well as those that may end up making portable chargers as well, because that's also something that's very huge, whether it's the car maker itself, or maybe you might have another company that you may choose to get your portable charger to charge at home or get installed at your home. So this industry is wide open, and if you're watching in my videos and you understand that we are what you call very early in the industry. So this is a good time. Thanks to the internet, we actually have access to be able to get into things and see things early, and this is one of the industries. So right off the bat, can you go wrong with either one of these companies? Currently, right now, I don't think you can. Whether you're investing in ChargePoint, Blink, or one of these two, Volta, EvGo, and any of the other ones that are coming out, they're all starting to make strides, and they all already have those charging stations that are up and running. So let's start with Volta real quick. Now, just so you guys know that Volta, they just announced their SPAC merger with Tortoise Acquisition. The ticker symbol for that is SNPR. Now, you will see that they're also being investigated because apparently some company there, or some law firm there, I don't know who might be issuing the suit, but they're trying to say that they may have did some type of acquisition, or this whole thing may have something might have been unfair. But for the sake of this video, we're going to talk about what's on the table right now with Volta and the possibilities with what could happen. So understand, with SPAC companies, sometimes you don't know if things will actually go public or be solidified or not. So it's normal that you'll see things like this happen in the beginning, and it could push a process through, or it could slow it up or derail it altogether. But for the most part, I think things may work out for her. But this SPAC merger is $2 billion. Now, here's the thing with Volta, and I guess you can say what their their claim to fame is. So Volta, what they try to specialize in being able to help the customer charge their vehicles, but also be able to help, the retailers in different building locations and different commercial properties and things like that. So basically with Volta, if you were to look at their particular model and how they have things set up, they have a lot of ads on it. So let's say, for example, if you have a store and you want a charging station, well, you could choose Volta, for example, and they're going to put ads on, or let's say, the best example I can give is one that they actually have on their website, and I thought was pretty cool, whereas you can have a recipe, and that recipe can be on that particular screen as an ad, and you can read more on that screen. Well, in order to actually get those particular ingredients or that particular combo, you can get it out of the store or the restaurant. So they're looking to also boost sales for different clienteles in the retail space. So like their thing is, we don't want you to go to fuel up, but we want you to fuel as you go. Meaning, whatever you normally do in life, going to stores, running here, running there, you can fuel up. That's what they want to be, and they want to be able to produce income for different retail and commercial spaces and companies, but also be able to save money for those that need to charge up for that time. Now, currently right now they have over 1,600 locations, so yes, they are around, but that's their goal. Now, if you don't know, one of the prime locations that a lot of charging stations are looking for is they're looking to charge in retail spaces, right? So they want to charge where people are shopping, where people are at. Well, why? Because basically when you charge, you're not charging for free. Now, with Tesla, if you buy certain models, then you can charge with them, for free. But if you're just using other charging stations, or if you don't have that particular model and it's not a Tesla charging station, then you're going to have to pay to charge. Now, the pay, of course, is less significant than what it would to, buy a gallon. At least it is right now. Not too sure how those prices if they will go down in the future, if they'll go up. And maybe the only thing that will be affected is just our ecosystem, far as not have as much pollution, but it might not save people money. I don't know, but this is something typically that is sought out for these EV charging companies. They want to be in these spaces and don't at places where there's colleges and hospitals and wherever people are, they want to be able to provide charging in those locations. And then it makes it easier because there's parking already there, so they don't have to build a parking lot. They can just install their systems there. So with Volta, they want to be able to maximize off that by having ads and things like that running that will cause a customer to spend more time at that charging station by going into the stores. Like on their site, for example, they have the average customer spends about $54 because of the ads and things like that. Just kind of coercing them to spend more money. Now below, I'm going to link their presentation. If you guys don't know, when you see these companies and you go to investor relations, go to the investor tab on their websites, there's presentations there. And I'll link the presentation for Volta and EvGo there if you want to take a look. And then that maybe help you a little bit about just learning how to study or just, learn more about different companies. Now let's talk about EvGo for a little bit. And their merger is with Climate Crisis Acquisition, or the whole word is Climate Crisis Real Impact Acquisition. So now with EvGo, they are the largest direct current fast charging companies. So what that means is that you get a lot more power, a lot more faster with being direct current. You may see it, kind of broken down where say DC fast charging. Well, they're the largest with over 800 plus, stations and locations. With them, they want to be able to continue to be the largest in that facet of just having that particular network for, DC fast charging. So if you see their stations are a little bit different because of the type of charging that they provide. Now, I have seen some EvGo stations not too far from where I stay, so I am familiar with seeing their system set up. Now, the great thing about them is they already have working relationships with, different fleets, government contracts, different corporations, to where, that puts them right there in mainstream, especially if you're working with, like companies around autonomous vehicles and things like that. Like working with companies like Tesla, working with companies like Lyft. These are companies that they are working with or have contracts with and have, some agreement with, to where they're able to produce, their stations to be able to, help to charge at these locations or charge these particular cars that are being made by people, or these these different cars that are like, fleets for different companies. So as I stated before, both of these companies have some stake in the game. So understand just from just basic terms that we're very early in this EV charging space, the EV vehicle space. It's still very, very new. So if you're looking for more of a play, you feel like you might have missed out on ChargePoint or Blink, well, these companies are a little bit, cheaper for us to invest in. However, these are very long-term plays, meaning that these are companies that you want to invest in for years. Now, if you're looking to trade, I understand, get in, get out. But for the most part, these companies are long-term plays and they're going to do well. In my opinion, I think all of them will do well, at least during the short term, like the next 2 to 3 years, before we maybe see someone like clearly just separate and dominate. Someone's going to have to, be a little bit more innovative around the EV charging to try to beat out others, so I guess we'll see how those things play out. But currently, just being able to have one of these companies within your portfolio, whether it's from ChargePoint to Blink to EvGo to Volta to whoever, I think you're in, I think that's a good investment for, people to at least have one in their portfolio because of, like I said, things are early. It's just like EV vehicles. Having a good EV maker like Tesla, which is like the easiest play ever, or even if it was like NIO, and as much as people are starting to look into Lucid and wanting to know what's going to happen with their merger, which none of us knows because they keep playing games. So, those companies and even more that are coming out, even like some of your more older companies like your GM, like being able to invest in these companies, you have a very long time to where these companies are going to do well because of the EV space and everything that's transitioning. Anyways, guys, so I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on these particular companies and just the EV space alone. Be sure to like, subscribe, check out the descriptions below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Y'all have a good one.